The one and only Platinum Perry is here. How about this? Look at this guy.
Live, baby.
What's up, Platinum Perry? How about this? Drake.
In the studio with Drake right now.
The Sixth God.
What's up, baby? How you doing, brother?
Much love, much love. Wow, this is amazing. Platinum Perry.
Oh, man.
I was so excited.
To be here.
How about this, right? You've been on before.
National internet television.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. It's actually a really big deal here. It's not like this is like a television studio.
Yeah, you didn't expect that, right?
I didn't know if this was your basement.
You thought it was my basement.
Maybe.
Do you now have more respect for the program?
Absolutely, man. I have a bobblehead, man. Somebody gave me a bobblehead of me.
A Platinum Perry one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Wow. I'd love to have that.
It'll do more work here than at home, I think.
Is it good? Like, is it legit?
It's legit. I'm gonna get the face tats put on there. It's missing the face tats right now. And then I'm gonna send it to you after.
I would love that. I would love that. I was so excited that you came in. I forgot who the headliner was on Saturday. Josh Emmett, Jeremy Stevens in Orlando. This is where you live. Why are you in New York on Monday?
For you, man.
You came in just for us.
For you guys.
This is amazing.
For y'all.
Were you annoyed when they told you to come here, when they asked you? Like, were you kind of on the fence about it?
Of course. I mean, I asked my manager, and I was like, just out of curiosity, the one time I don't have to travel for a fight, why would I choose to do so?
Yeah.
Because it's beneficial to my career to let you guys know that I can handle anything you throw at me, and I can still perform no matter what.
So it didn't take a lot of convincing?
No.
Okay. When did you come in?
Yesterday.
And when do you leave?
In a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you did some media here?
No big deal. Yeah. You know, this, and I've been doing some phone interviews.
It's interesting, though, that they bring you out. Like, you're not in the main event. You're not in the co-main event.
I'm the people's main event. I'm always the people's main event.
My man. You know
Everybody gets excited to see me fight, and I'm happy that I've created that for myself.
Right.
You know?
Although I must say, though, I didn't recognize you when I saw you in the back. What is going on? The beard was looking phenomenal.
I'll tell you what, I tried to keep it.
Okay.
It was too big. I looked kind of homeless.
Okay.
So I needed to get a haircut or whatever, and I didn't have time. I'm very busy between training 2-3 times a day and resting the other times.
Yeah.
I tried to do my own work on my beard, and sometimes I'm successful, and I messed up a few times, so then I was like, just take it off.
You did it yourself.
I feel younger. I feel stronger.
You like it?
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's not bad.
Did you, like a couple days ago, did you have nothing? Like no stubble whatsoever?
No, because I didn't hit it with the razor.
Okay.
I just did like...
Are we going to like break it down to build it back up? Are you going to let it grow?
I'm going to get a fresh edge. It'll look good by Saturday. For sure, I'll get a fresh razor.
How long does it take to let it grow like to this length? A week
probably
or so?
Another week. Yeah.
Okay, all right. But it's amazing how much younger you look. I thought maybe it was a weight cut thing. I got a little nervous.
Yeah, I look like I'm 35 with the beard.
And now you look like you're 12. 17 with the hat. But you look good. How much you weigh right now?
It, bro. You know, that's the only thing that's getting me about coming to New York is I haven't been able to get on a scale when I check my weight so many times a day.
Okay.
But I've done good. I did good yesterday with my meals. I got a good workout in. Haven't been able to work out today, too much media, but I'm really good. Okay. And I just had a protein bar, so I should catch the energy from that.
Okay.
In the middle of this.
Do you like fighting in Orlando? Are you happy about this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is a dream come true. Right?
This is a dream.
You know, and I was talking to my manager, Abe, earlier, and I was like, we were talking about the energy that I'm going to get from the crowd, seeing 15,000 people I know. And
you think you know all of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
The whole arena, baby. Every single one of them. I'm going to point at all of them and say their names while I'm fighting Max.
Yes.
No, probably not, maybe not. But, you know, he had good advice was don't let it give you an adrenaline dump. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But now that I've heard it, it probably won't now, and I'll focus that energy that they give me into the worst ass whooping y'all have ever seen.
Really?
Probably, yes.
Okay. You know, you were on this program a couple weeks ago. You were teasing that you were fighting on the card against an opponent. I got them all wrong. I skipped over Max Griffin. He was like the last one left. Remember, I had Brian Barberina. I mentioned him, this guy, that guy. Honestly now, when you were offered Max Griffin, had you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I met him at the UFC Athlete Retreat.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we debuted at the same, I believe he debuted at 202.
Okay.
and he went to decision with Kobe.
Yes.
And I actually called out Kobe that night.
Okay.
He, you know, was talking trash. And I was like, oh, that guy's talking trash? I picked that guy. And me and Max were playing cornhole together.
Yeah.
He actually beat me, which is, I mean, I shoot overhand. And
really?
I kill it. I'm a beast at cornhole.
You do overhand?
Kill it.
Okay.
And he actually won the game. And I was like, oh, I gotta, and while we were talking, playing, he said that, oh yeah, you and me are gonna fight one day.
Really?
And I was like, when he said that, I was like, maybe. And I was like, you know, I'm looking past you. I feel like, you know, I'm looking to fight bigger names. And,
sure.
But everything happens for a reason. And, you know, to be honest, though, I feel the fight is a gift and he doesn't deserve to stand in front of me. He will be there. He will make weight, I'm sure. He's excited about fighting me, which is a dangerous thing. I was excited about fighting Thiago, and I got in the best shape of my life for that fight. I brought that coach back that I used for the Thiago camp, and I'm feeling close to the best shape of my life again. So Max is in for a rude awakening. It's not gonna be what he wants it to be. Like I said, this is a gift, but if they're handing him out, it's my fault. I had the top 10 fight, I had the opponent, and I'll tell you what, now that I have cardio, that I brought this coach back, I had none in the Ponzinibbio fight and still gave him hell.
Why'd you get rid of him, that coach? What's his name?
His name is Nelson Rodriguez.
Okay.
You know, I added him in. I trusted in him through a boxing friend that I have, Miguel Cruz, undefeated prospect, world-class boxer. And it was selfish reasons maybe, you know, not wanting to pay somebody something. That's the honest truth, you know. I hate to say something like that, but you gotta live and learn. You gotta make mistakes. Some of the best people in my life, actually, I've gotten rid of and then brought back into my life, because sometimes you can't see how good something is until you can't see it anymore.
Right.
So I'm hard-headed, and I learn lessons that way, and I grow exponentially every time I get a lesson like that.
So you noticed in the Ponzinibbio fight that your cardio was lacking.
Oh, absolutely.
You needed this guy.
Absolutely.
And now you feel better.
I didn't have cardio in the Ponzinibbio.
Zero. You didn't do any cardio leading up to it?
Listen.
How do you get cardio?
If you don't have that coach that you link with, and it could change. One, you know, it used to be another coach that I listened to like that, but then you see new things, and I still listen to that coach. I've had all the same team for so long now, but Nelson is the only person I've let in the circle in a long time from the outside. And you could be in the gym, you could be working out, hitting the bag, and think that your cardio is good. You get tired hitting the bag and you think, that was a good workout. If you're by yourself, you're not being pushed properly. You can't push yourself the way that someone who's went to school for it, studied it, written essays, read books. You can't, I used to think if you are not the fighter, if you have never been at that level, then you can't really tell me. But that's just not true. Some people are just better from the outside watching.
Yeah.
You guys know what you're talking about, but you don't fight.
No.
But you know what you're talking about.
Sometimes.
So you got to open your mind. I used to be real narrow-minded, and now I know that I will never know it all. So that's all I need to know.
You called fighting in Orlando a dream come true, but you're not born in Orlando. You're born in Flint,
I'm born
right?
in Flint, Michigan.
So why is this a dream come true? Do you feel like Orlando's your home?
Orlando is my home. I moved a lot back and forth between places. I moved around a lot when I was a kid. I was never in one place, one school very long.
You were born though in Flint?
Yes.
Okay.
It was always back and forth between Michigan and Florida.
Because your parents were divorced, right? Dad and
never
Michigan?
even got married. Yeah, they just separated.
Okay.
And you know, I bounced around with both of them, and even with my dad, I bounced around. But you know, I always liked Florida more. Okay. It's just not as gloomy as Flint, man. It's just not. It's the Sunshine State, baby. I love the sun. I love the beach. I love the beaches. And it became my home. And I mean, not to say I wouldn't love to go to Detroit and fight on the Detroit card. I wanted that too, but I didn't get that opportunity. Maybe that opportunity will happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knows me in Florida, man. I know more people in Florida than I do in Michigan.
Okay.
So
did you have siblings, or do you have siblings?
I do. I have some stepbrothers and sisters in Tennessee that used to live with me in Michigan. I have half brothers and sisters that live with me in Florida. When I was young and my parents separated, my 3 siblings, 1 brother and 2 sisters on my mom's side, they went with her and I stayed with my dad.
Okay.
And then I always wanted to go see my brothers and sisters in Florida anyways.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up moving there too. So
how old were you when your parents, or your mom
like
and dad?
4.
Oh, 4. Okay,
Yeah,
so you didn't really
4.
know what was going on.
I didn't really care.
Right.
I guess,
Did you get to decide who you stayed with? Was it up to you, or was it up to them?
It was they passed me around,
Okay.
and sometimes I was a little crazy, too much to handle for my mom, so she'd send me back to my dad, and
How many different schools did you go to growing up?
12 more.
Really?
That's just high schools, I think.
Really?
Something like that.
Was it your decision to leave the schools, or were you getting kicked out?
Here's the thing, man. You can't put a decision like that on a child, on a kid, because he's gonna be like, "Let's go." I actually been talking a lot with my girlfriend, and I wanna do this traveling right now. I keep wanting to get this like Winnebago and like go see the country and go train at different gyms while I do it. But that's what I'm used to. Everything at home is perfect. I got Jacare Souza now, a world champion, to show me how to become one. Everything is where it should be in my life. I have a home, I have dogs, I have my girl. Everything is perfect. But I want to leave and travel the country. But my time is now to stay home and train with the team that I've been with since the beginning anyways. So we'll see what happens after this fight. And Cowboy won last night, and I want to fight the Cowboy, baby. So let me get this big knockout this weekend, and we'll see. Cowboy knows that maybe I actually got talked about with Yancey Medeiros right before Cowboy picked him up.
Oh.
Cowboy got the veteran choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got the pick. It was me or Yancey.
Oh, interesting.
I think something like that. It was going down, and I don't blame him for picking Yancey.
Interesting.
So
you could have been fighting last night. He chose Yancey instead of you, from what you've been told.
No, it was gonna be on Orlando.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, well, I know Cowboy was gonna be in. I wasn't necessarily getting the Cowboy offer just yet, and they offered me Yancey. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And then, Cowboy stole him away from me. So
I saw on your social media you talked about like putting your phone away, going with your girlfriend Danielle, who's always by your side, in your corner. You guys have a great thing, and then traveling the country.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that? Is
I
it because
figure I
that's
could
where
do it for just a little bit at least.
Okay. Do you feel like you're too reliant on your phone, that you want to disconnect? You need a break from.
I do need to disconnect a little bit. Just a little bit though, because like I said, my time is now to make my run. I thought maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Twice I haven't made that third win in a row. I go two devastating wins, I lose a decision. 2 devastating wins, I lose a decision. Well, let me take a little more time here, be a little more patient, get a devastating win this Saturday, see what comes at me. Because I feel I worked hard, and now I'm sitting here in this seat. A lot more people know who I am. Follow me, Platinum Mike Perry, Instagram.
Yep.
And
you got it right there under your name. You see it?
Hey, look at that.
See that?
And so now I've created something that people got to come try to take from me.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna sell out that arena
on Saturday.
in Orlando.
Okay. There's buzz.
Oh, there's buzz, baby.
Okay. I feel like there's more buzz.
And we got
your
Killer
fight.
B, so there's plenty
That's
buzz.
right, your boy, Ben Saunders. There's probably more buzz for your fight than the main event, just because you're a local guy.
But shout out Josh Emmett.
Josh Emmett.
Fuck Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
Get that dub this weekend.
What's up with you and Jeremy Stevens?
You know the story.
It's a weird thing. You're not.
He tried me. I shoved his ass on the ground. He ain't do nothing about it.
At the tree, right?
Yeah, man. He tried me.
Did he? What did he try something with your girl?
I'm just gonna say he tried me, bro, and I put him in his place.
For real?
So if he got something to say about it this weekend,
wow, I'm
sure he won't. We're both professionals.
What happens if you see him like in the lobby?
Nothing. I ain't got nothing to say to him. I shoved him to the ground. I'm saying it right now to all y'all. I shoved him to the ground.
You pushed him?
Absolutely. Boom, and he fell on the ground. I looked at him.
What do you do?
He got up slowly. He looked at me and was like, and you know, who's that Australian fighter who won and said he's gonna be drinking beer and ride his motorbike fast?
Tyson Pedro.
Tyson Pedro, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. He grabbed me. I'm like, well, I'm good, bro. You good, bro? I'm just standing here. He the one laying on the ground. Y'all should help him up.
But why did you push him?
Because he tried me, man.
What does that mean?
See, I ain't gonna snitch on him, really. I mean, he walked up on my girl and looked like he was about to dance on her.
For real? At the retreat?
And come on, man. We're at the private Snoop Dogg concert.
Yeah.
It's only UFC fighters.
Yeah.
I've been with my girl the whole week. He knows. So he tried me. He must have been drunk.
Do you think he knew that it was your girl?
Absolutely. There was 5 girls at the concert. I know,
that's the thing. It's not like there's random girls there, right? Every girl is with a guy because you can't get into that place unless you're with a fighter. He was
bored, I guess.
Or maybe he thought she was a fighter.
He didn't have a girl all week. So.
Damn.
Yeah. It could have been worse. I could have just hit him with the kill bow from the jump. But I didn't want to get in trouble.
Now, does it bother you that he's the headliner over you?
Not at all.
Okay.
It should bother him that after my fight, the stadium's gonna empty out. No, I'm sorry, Josh Emmett, but nobody's gonna really be there to watch the main event. We going to the after party, the platinum party. We getting fucked up.
But I did notice, like you said, like you've hung out with Griffin, but you also post on Instagram. You don't seem to be a big fan of his.
I'm not. I don't feel he deserves to stand in front of me.
Has he been saying things about you?
I don't like his fight style. I believe.
Did he say anything about you going into this?
Nah, and it's fighting.
Yeah.
Before we were gonna fight, I like him. I wish him the best. And unfortunately, the wish came the worst, and he got me, and I'm gonna.
You don't feel like he's earned the opportunity to fight you on Big Fox? Like, this is a big deal.
Obviously, he's earned it. We're here. We're standing in front of each other. I've always believed the man standing across from me deserved to stand there. Somebody said to me the other day, I was at the gym, and he walks up and he goes, oh, you're going to kill this guy next week. And I was like, I bet he'll kill you. Don't you take credit away from me. This is another world-class UFC athlete. Okay, he's worked hard. And the thing is, I was excited about Thiago. I trained my ass off. I know he's excited about me. I know he's been training his ass off.
Right.
He posts pictures all the time. He's talking a little trash too.
Okay.
He likes the rhythm that our matchup has gotten him into. But it's just always different though. When I put that pressure on you and I only come forward and I throw these whirlwind punches that the wind of my punch can hurt your face.
Yeah.
So.
Are you the kind of guy who like kind of creeps on your opponent when you're fighting? Like you want to know what he's doing? No. You look at his?
No, I try not to see it, but I actually follow him on Instagram. And when we matched the fight, I chose to not unfollow him. So I see him post a couple things sometimes. And
you ever comment?
I might have said something. I know he said he posted this thing about me being a keyboard warrior because I said he looked like a goofy motherfucker, and he's like, oh, keyboard warrior. And I was like, there's a difference between keyboard warriors is that we have a time and a date, and I'm going to show up and I'm going to punch you in your face. Keyboard warriors got hidden names on their Instagram. You don't know who they really are.
Right.
You know it's me, and I know it's you, and I'm coming after you. That's the difference. I'm not talking no fake shit. I'm going to see your goofy ass in a week, in 3 days, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you, period.
Do you like when there's conflict going into your fights? Like, I don't know if you heard me before, and you saw the Cerrone fight, right? Did you see it? What was with all that hugging and it was a little too much, right?
I mean, come on,
Did you think that was weird?
Yeah, man. Like he knocks him down and he gets a hug, but that's cool because it wouldn't have been cool if he didn't get the knockout in the first round or the second or the third, but he got the knockout in the first round. So it's like, you know, Yancey's a nice guy, and they were both fans of each other because they've been in the sport so long, and we're blessed to do this.
Sure, sure.
You know, it's a great job. It's a privilege.
But it was a bit much.
Too much, man. Come on, man. Trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
For real.
I feel like
hug you when I pick you up after.
Right. After is cool. I like that. But
in the middle
of the fight.
Listen, if you're fighting me and I knock you down and you get up and you smile, you try to give me a hug, I'm going to knock you out right there like Floyd Mayweather did to Victor Ortiz.
That's right.
Boom, boom.
Right.
It's a wrap.
I feel like that plays into Cerrone's hands because Cerrone's the kind of guy who gets a little nervous before his fights, but now he's like, oh, it's all cool. Boom, I'll catch you. Fight's over. Like Yancey should have come in there. I'm going to take this guy's spot. He's been around for 10 years. My first main event. Let me go kill him, and then we'll hug. I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
It's all good.
It was frustrating to watch.
I'm waiting for somebody to try to touch gloves with me. I'm just going to take the shot and knock him out.
Okay.
And try.
So I just wanted to go back to your upbringing because I've never had the chance to talk to you about your upbringing. You're cool with that? What are those? Adidas?
Adidas.
Are you sponsored by Adidas?
No, I'm just matching. You know what I'm saying?
You are, man. You're looking good.
Good, baby.
Adidas owns Reebok, so it's okay to wear Adidas, right?
I mean, MMA Hour ain't yelling at me. I could have wore some Gucci up here, but
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
11 or 12 high schools, you said? You were in predominantly non-white schools, right? Like you were like one of the few white kids in your schools, right?
You know, it's funny.
You used to get like bullied,
in Michigan,
right? Yeah.
This Southwestern, McKinley, these are two schools I went to in Flint, and those were predominantly black.
Yeah.
And then my dad moved me to Lapeer, Michigan for like 3 months. I actually lived with Dan Severn, not Dan Severn himself.
Yeah.
His name is Dennis Severn, who's still a family friend.
Okay.
And I thought he was Dan Severn's brother. He told me for a long time. And then I talked to Dan Severn over the phone before I got in the UFC. I got his number and tried to call him and say, hey, you know Dana White. I'm 6-0. Check out my highlights and tell him if maybe you want to get me in the UFC. He couldn't do nothing for me. Then he tried to hit me up after I got in the UFC, right? And the first thing he said to me, I said, I used to live with your brother Dennis. That's not my brother. It's my little cousin.
Oh, okay.
But it's family, right? So Dennis used to be my dad's boss. He had a construction company.
Okay.
And I actually stayed with Dennis for a little bit. And
Really?
I went to Lapeer High School for about 3 months. And that was an all-white school. There was one black girl that went to the school, and she was the girlfriend of my white boy friend who lived in Flint.
Oh.
She didn't even go out with none of the white boys in Lapeer. And Lapeer is like country. They're shooting guns and going hunting and listening to country music. And I hated that school, but there was really nice people there. And a friend that I did some wrestling at that school, they were really big. Lapeer is really big for wrestling. Michigan's a really big state for wrestling.
Yeah.
I never competed. My grades never allowed me to compete because I didn't apply myself in the work. And what's funny is Lapeer, the teachers were really good because, I don't know, I didn't get along with the people in Lapeer the way I got along with people in the hood in Flint. So I did better. I started doing better in my schoolwork. Teachers really focused in on me, though, and helped me out. We were trying to get me on the football team. We were trying to get me on the wrestling team. And then I was only there for 3 months, and then I go to another school, and I'm learning something totally different. They're in a different section. Every time you go to a new school, they're not learning the same things at the same time. So
Why'd you move? Why'd you change schools after 3 months?
that's not my choice.
Whose choice?
It's family. My dad.
And so you were moving
My dad,
so
my
far.
stepmom, my mom, I moved around with them.
Wow.
You know, so I never really got settled in anywhere ever. I'm too used to moving around.
Right.
Which is why I got this urge to like go travel. But that's not necessarily gonna do anything for me. So, you know, I'm in a weird place in my life. I'm where I've always wanted to be. But it's not enough. It's never enough.
Mm.
And I'm cool with that. I'm working on that. It's all up here.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I love where I am.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay, but I got to do it for 10, 15 more years in order to leave a legacy.
Mm-hmm. Did you get in trouble a lot as a kid? Like fights and things like that?
Yeah, I didn't get kicked out of school a lot because like I got whooped and like wasn't trying to get kicked out of school.
What do you mean you got whooped?
My dad used to whoop my ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
why?
But he seems to say that it's not compared to what he got. His dad used to like cattle prong him or tie him up and slap his hands with this thick piece of leather. They told me these stories about how he used to wake up at 4 a.m. to go feed the cows, chickens, pigs, and horses or whatever. He lived on a farm in North Branch, Michigan. That's where he grew up, and I just.
Why do you whip your ass though? Like, because you used to get out of line?
I used to get this purple paper in middle school, right?
Okay.
I was so afraid of that purple paper because say we had block schedule or, I might have 4 classes, 2 hours of class or something like that. And based on my behavior, based on the work that I got done, this purple paper had something for each class. Each day I would have to take it home, get it signed, show my parents, and bring it back. And, that purple paper might say there was great, good, insubordinate, and bad or something like that. And, these teachers didn't know what they were doing when they were circling not great or, something like that. I go home
Showed your dad.
terrified, you know what I'm saying, of what I had to go through because, and my parents just, don't just take the teacher's word for it on paper. Go meet this teacher. Go be a part of your kid's school life. Okay, don't just take adults' words because even adults are childish and don't know what they're doing when they go and get a kid in trouble, don't know what kind of family he's got at home. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it made me tough or whatever. I feel like I was going to be tough anyways, though. My dad's a crazy, strong guy, doesn't work out, but he's just naturally ripped up. And so, and my mom's pretty physically fit too. So naturally the physicalities of my athleticism were going to be there. But mentally, I don't know. I wish I was raised differently.
Are you still close with your dad?
I haven't spoken to him in 2018.
Okay. On purpose? Is that like a resolution?
He's always talking shit. He's always running his fucking mouth and fucking talking shit, man. Like, and I'm younger, so I'm not good about respecting my elders all the time, especially when my elder is just acting childish. So I tell him, I'm better than you. And the problem with that is, when I told him that, he felt so angry with me. And I said, that's the difference between me and you, is that if I had a kid and he told me he's better than me, I would reach for joy, man. And, a lot of times I want to say praise God or da-da-da-da, but even that's changed for me.
What do you mean?
As of recently.
What do you mean?
My beliefs have all changed.
From what to what?
I don't know what God is. I don't know what Jesus is. I feel like God is the voice in my head that talks back to me, and that whatever I need done, I need to manifest myself.
So you used to believe in God, and now you're starting to question?
I am the all-powerful ruler in my world. I need to do and think how I need to think and do in order to create a better life for myself. Praying for it ain't gonna get nothing done. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right.
Why did you start to change your opinion on this? Did something happen?
I went to Amsterdam and got really high.
Okay. Recently?
After Darren Till fought in Poland against Cowboy.
Yeah.
And then I went to Paris, then I went to Amsterdam.
I remember, yeah.
And I was just in Amsterdam and I was like, I've seen the world now. Everywhere I go, it's like, it's the same food. It's buildings, bridges, cars, the same. Everything's the same. I got to fight. I got in a weird place. And then, you know, I felt like nothing mattered. No matter what you did, no matter what you do, you could save 1 million lives. But at the end of the day, when you die, what did it really matter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll see when I get there. And here's the thing. The Bible says, if you believe in Jesus, that's all you need to do. Well, I'll tell you what. The word of Jesus, all that Bible stuff, it says to be a good person. So how about I do that? How about I just be a good person? And then when I die, I'll have nothing to feel bad about. So because I didn't believe in Jesus is going to be the reason that no, I don't believe that. And you know, this year the Black Panther movie came out, and I have a lot of black friends, and I see a lot of things like, who did slaves pray to before slavery? You know what I mean? Who did black people pray to? You know what I'm saying? So I believe, and food too, man. I feel like recently I got hit with everything I was raised up on, grew up on is all a lie. Food is a lie. Potato chips could be made out of plastic for a corporation to get their money from somehow, you know, and everything. I tweeted it the other day. Believe what your eyes see as fact. Believe what you can feel as reality. Everything else could be a lie. Don't just take words. Go do your research. Stay on top of things. My mind is waking up. It's taken a long time because I moved around. I didn't have the schooling. I didn't have the guidance. I didn't have the role model to look up to. Actually, all my role models were black men before really Conor McGregor came around and Stipe Miocic. You know what I mean? Before them two white boys, I didn't really look up to white boys. It was Muhammad Ali, it was Mike Tyson, it was Floyd Mayweather, it was John Jones. These guys were all different types of athletes. White people are built differently than black people. And your mind is the only thing that, you know, you can bring it all together. So, you know, my beliefs had to change anyways. You have to open your mind to all types of things. Like, okay, I say I don't know if I believe in Jesus now, but it's I don't know because my mind is still open to the thought of Jesus because I've always believed in it. Mm-hmm. And then my mind is open to the thought of if it's not real too. Because you gotta hit all angles, all corners. It's like an octagon. You gotta hit all 8. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got different angles you gotta look at.
Did you graduate high school?
I didn't. I'm a dropout.
When did you drop out?
I did like 4 years, but like I had like 11 credits out of 24. I didn't do anything. I went to school and was looking for something else to do.
What did you do when you stopped going to school?
Construction and restaurant jobs, and I stole from people and I sold weed and I went to jail, and then I found out what consequences were because I never had the guidance and people in my life to really show me. I just thought, you know, you get your ass whooped when you get in trouble. Mm-hmm. And then I got to this point where, you want to whoop my ass? Come try. And then it was, you can't whoop the police. There's too many of them. You can't win that battle. You just can't. And then if you're in jail, you can't even get out. There's nothing you could do. You just have to wait. And then I was talking about this the other day, man. Nobody gave me no food on my books. I was in jail for 6 months. You don't know how hungry people get if you don't get no food on your books. But I can't complain because I bet there's a bunch of people in there right now that ain't got no food on their books. But I was a 19-year-old kid.
You went to jail when you were 19?
I needed some food.
What did you went for burglary, right?
I did.
What did you steal?
Nothing. When I got caught, I broke into a house and we ran out. There was somebody inside. Okay. We could have been killed, you know what I mean? And
in Florida?
Yeah,
or
so
Michigan?
I could have been going through somebody's house and they shoot me.
Sure.
You know, look at that. God forgive me.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever that is. I made mistakes. I didn't know.
How'd they catch you?
we ran out the house, we ran down the street behind these houses, and our car was parked down the street in a house for rent driveway, and we got in the car, and then as soon as we got in the car, like 10 cop cars passed right next to us with their lights off, and we kind of ducked down, and then I sat there and I argued with two people. I was in the back seat and I was like, yo, we gotta go, drive the car. He's like, no, I think we should run. We should get out, leave the car here and go on our feet. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's not illegal to drive a car, drive the car.
Yeah.
And then before, 2 minutes go by, it's too late. A car pulled right in front of us. He stopped at this crossroads, and they're blocking off all the roads. He turns his lights on, and this cop car sitting in front of us for 45 minutes. I said, okay, we're caught now, so we need to talk about why we're here.
Right.
Because they're gonna come get us. I came up with the story was, we're out waiting for these girls to text us back, and we wanted to stop driving around, wasting gas, so we parked the car waiting for them to hit us up, and we were smoking a blunt, and then the cop car pulled up and we didn't want to get in trouble for smoking the weed. And me and my boy stuck with that story, and then the other one was like, oh, times are hard. We were looking to pay rent, so we went out looking for a house to hit. So all three of us are in the cell waiting to get put in our own individual cells. You're in the open cell with all the people who got arrested that night, and we're reading our paperwork. And my boy on the bunk above me, and I said, Caleb, oh, look at that. No, my bad, dog. I was like, you read this? And it says it right there. Mike did not talk. Other friend did not have anything to say. Revoke their rights or whatever, and don't say nothing. It's not revoke, but I can't think of the word. And then the other one said, times are hard, rent. And I'm like, yo, look at this. And we were like, yo, listen, we need to know, did you say this? He was like trying to say yeah without saying yeah. And we was like, dang, he said it. So, and then I thought, well, I need to lighten the load. We need to lighten the load on ourselves. Let's tell on ourselves. I'll say that I was the first one in the house. I pulled the screen off the window. I went through. We knocked over a ladder. It made some noise, but we didn't think anybody was there. We go inside. The other friend rang the doorbell to see if anybody would come to the door, but it's 3 a.m. Ain't nobody coming to the door. You ring the doorbell 3 a.m. Stupid, man. And
why'd you pick that house? Any particular reason?
So we're driving around, and I knew the house because I knew someone who used to live in the house.
Okay.
I grew up playing with a kid who lived in the house. And it was a nice 2-story house in a decent neighborhood. And I was like, well, that kid and his family had money. Back then, they had lots of stuff. So whoever owns that house now must have some stuff. So that's what we did.
Okay.
And then it's crazy because the lady comes in and calls my name. And when I go downstairs, it's because we had to talk to the prosecutor. And when I went down, the prosecutor goes, oh, no, not this one, the Mr. blah, blah, blah. And he said the other guy's name. And I was like, wait, I want to talk to you now. He's like, oh, you didn't want to talk before? Normally I wouldn't. I was like, come on, man, you going to talk to me, man. And then, I was a crazy kid, man. I remember asking that prosecutor, do you believe in the end of the world? I was like 18, man. I was like...
And so that's why you were sent to jail?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So then I did 6 days. I bonded out.
Okay.
I was the last one to get out.
Yeah.
And the police had went to a house that we were staying at and, raided the house or whatever. And we were all facing these serious charges. And then I ended up getting... One of the friends, he paid a lawyer like 5 stacks, and the lawyer got him an offer, and the offer was 18 months in prison, and my boy just took it. We don't know if he could have got a better deal or what, but he just took that offer and he got his time started and he started on it and he's out now and he's married, he has a kid. I still talk to him. He's a good friend. And me and the other one got the same deal. My pops actually helped out with that. He helped me with the lawyer. That's one thing he did. Maybe he feels I owe him something. I gave him some money when I got in the UFC. And, I feel like I paid him back now, even though after all the years, I feel he owed me that protection from the police and paying that money for that lawyer anyways, because he didn't teach me how to not be a bad kid, the right ways, and I'm not going to blame him either. Being a parent's probably really hard. So, but I got 2 years community control, 3 years probation. I did 1.5 years of community control, which is house arrest. And then I violated for a technicality, which was failing a drug test. And then I did 6 months in jail.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God.
What was that like, being in jail? We say no food on
Best and worst experience of my life, I'd have to say, because it changed my life.
It did.
It was like a school for hardheads. Or it could go the other way. There's 2 ways to go. You either learn or you don't.
You say no food on your books. What does that mean? You have a physical book,
Okay, so they feed you 3 times a day in jail.
Yeah.
And it's not enough.
Okay.
It's not enough food.
Okay.
And books is, I'm talking like you're outside, and you get charged every day for being in jail too. You get like $3 a day they charge you.
Okay.
So if somebody sends you $100 and you've been there and you have a $40, you'll get to spend 60 of that 100, but they take their 40.
What are you spending money on in jail?
Commissary. Commissary is you can order deodorant and like clean products or baby powder or ramen noodles. Ramen noodles are a big trading thing in there, or cakes and food. I had a big sweet tooth at that age, and sometimes I was cool with people, so every now and then I'd get like a cake or something. Somebody would hook me up, man, and it's hard. That was one of the toughest parts, was that when you're just so hungry, man, and you can't leave, and you can't go to the store, you can't go to the fridge and get some food, and then you can't use the bathroom by yourself. There's 20 toilets and 20 shower heads. You can't shower by yourself.
There's no doors.
Toilet? There's a door to the 20 showers.
Yeah, but everyone, like, if you're
a door to the 20 toilets, but then there's no door. No separation at all.
Did you sleep in a cell with other people, or did you have your own?
There was different. In the time that I was there, I traveled. They took me back and forth between a couple different jails.
Even there you were moving?
Yeah, even
Why?
there.
Why?
I had another charge in another jail, which was in a different county, that I didn't get convicted of. So like when they moved me around the jails, there was this one time when they traveled me from one to the other. They took 4 of us from the one jail, right? And they shackled you up to your ankles and your hands and your waist. And when you're shackled at them ankles, I remember the pain my ankles went through from being shackled for 5 or 10 minutes trying to walk in those. It hurt my ankles so bad. And when they moved us from one to the other, this one time, they moved me different every time. But this one time, they moved me with these 3 other people, and they put us in this little metal, it looked like a dog truck.
Okay.
And there's a metal wall right in front of your face, and I'm sitting next to the other 3 dudes, and I'm shackled up, and then they shut the door, and it's completely dark, no light, you can't see your hand in front of your face, and then they turn the heat on, and like we were like yelling at them while they're driving the truck, like, yo, turn the heat off, really couldn't breathe.
Oh my God.
And then they turned it up.
Oh no.
And then they turned it off. So
you think that they're messing with you?
And then you're in there and these, it might be like a 50-year-old crackhead in there too that they're transporting, and he won't shut up, and his breath hot and stank, and we're just like, yo, shut up, man, you making it worse in here. And then, I mean, jail, and so sometimes I was in a cell with just one other person, and they lock the door and you can't move about. And then you get put in a dorm where there's 80 or 120 other prisoners that are all just open bunk area. Those are the prisoners that aren't there for necessarily the worst crimes, and they get a little bit more freedom. You know, they're not in their room all day. And, you know, sometimes they say you got to lay down or just sit on your bunk at certain times, which isn't as bad as you're in a cell. It's really small, and you and another guy, and like you can't walk around or anything like that. But the open dorms, and then I had to get a TB shot if I wanted to be a trustee. And when I found out I was going to be there for a while, I decided to go be trustee.
What's trustee?
Because what trustee was you get a job.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everybody in the jail got blues on. The trustees got orange because they're working. And the thing about a job, why you want to work in jail, especially if you're not getting commissary, is because it's a way to get food. You could get a job in the kitchen, and then you can eat a lot more. And food is one less thing on your mind. Or I ended up being road crew because then you get to leave the jail. So I asked for road crew. I got it, thank God. And every Monday through Thursday, I would leave the jail in a truck, and we would go weed ditches, cut this long grass with just weed eaters, and it'd be a team of us out there. And I was actually telling this story to my manager. They thought it would be a good story. And so the last day I'm on road crew, I got court the next day, and I'm about to get out. And I found we're cutting this grass and we're cutting these trees down, and I worked my ass off because I was bored. And I found a 40 ounce. It was filled with beer. And I'm talking 6 months of haven't had anything toxic like that. So I throw it in the cooler, and I had smoked some cigarettes while I was on road crew. People would throw stuff at us when we'd smoke tobacco.
Oh, really?
And I throw the beer in the cooler, and I continue working. And then when it got cold and the guy wasn't paying attention, the CO, I grabbed this 40 ounce and I chugged a 40 ounce and threw it. I asked one of the other guys took a little drink. They didn't want much. And I was like, I don't care. I was young. I like to get fucked up. So, and then there might have been a little beer left. I threw that in the dumpster. And then I went sometimes we smoked outside, but if the CEO was really, like, you know, you can't just be doing it in front of the CEO, because even if he knows you do it, you can't get him in trouble.
Sure.
The guy used to bring us like Publix fried chicken sometimes, and you get to eat more. You get the outside food. The outside food is totally different than food inside jail. So, like, you know, we would try to be nice to our CEO because he was nice to us. So I go in the porta potty after I chug this beer, and I smoke a cigarette quick. And then as soon as I open the porta potty and go to get out, CO standing right there. And I used to have an orange work hat on like this, backwards, and like I had like some leopard glasses that we found when I was weed eating, so I was wearing these glasses. And thank God I had the glasses on, because I was like this. And I seen him, I was like, oh, sir, you need to go to the bathroom? Here you go. And then like, he kind of stood there and looked at me. And like, I was like, I'm gonna go on the other side. And I walked between the van and the trailer that was hitched. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta step over this trailer hitch. And like, I could barely stand up on both feet because that beer and that cigarette just hit me. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was about to pass out as soon as I seen him.
And this is your last day before?
It was my last day. But then, I'm good. I got away with it. It went away in like 1 minute. So I walked to the other side, I took some deep breaths, and then I composed myself and got it together.
And it helped you out? Jail helped?
And then I got out the next day. It did.
It was positive?
I took it positively. You can take anything positively.
Yeah. And then the day you get out, you go to the gym, right?
The next day. The day I got out, I went to this we call it the Marina or Wekiva Island.
What a feeling that must be.
And just seen some people that I hadn't seen in a while. Had a drink.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went to UFC gym in Winter Springs.
What year is this?
It was June 5th when I went to the UFC gym. June 5th, 2014.
Wow, it's not that long ago.
No. And I worked there for 4 years.
What'd you do there?
I got hired on. I started teaching the MMA team.
But prior to going to jail, did you do any martial arts? Were you a fighter?
Yes, I trained. When I lived in Florida, that's where I did my MMA training. I've been with the same team since.
You hadn't fought pro yet?
No.
Okay.
I was fighting amateurs. I was known. I even fought amateur when I was on house arrest.
Huh.
I didn't have the ankle bracelet.
Okay.
See, so there were different COs that I had where the thing is that the corrections officer could just come to your house at any time. That's the thing with community control. And if you're not there, you're going to jail when they find you. Mm-hmm. But I used to leave. I used to go party. There was a bar like right by my apartment. My mom looked out. She took care of me when I was going through this trouble.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if she had much of a choice. It was either I had nowhere else to go and I was going to go to jail, or she took me in, so she took me back in. And I moved out when I was 17, and for almost 2 years, I was working at a job and I was selling weed and I was doing the wrong things, and then I got caught and I got in trouble and I had to go move back in with Mom.
So when you're in jail, do you have an epiphany? I'm going to try to become a pro fighter now. Like, this is my chance. You know.
I guess I always thought I would be one.
Okay.
I just would train sometimes, and I always beat people up. So I was like, I'm gonna be a pro fighter one day. But then, you know, when you really get into it,
you apply yourself.
And when you really apply yourself, then it's different. And when I started working at the UFC gym, I was amateur still, and I think I had 1 or 2 more fights, and then I went pro, and I stopped teaching MMA at the gym, and they gave it to another guy. But it's cool because to be a coach and a fighter, it doesn't work. I don't have time for other fighters. I need time for myself. So I was teaching like old lady kickboxing classes, and people love my classes at the UFC gym down there, man. They miss me. I stopped working there so I could focus 100% on, you know, doing all this.
When did you stop? Recently, right? Because you said 2014.
Yeah, 2017 I stopped working there.
Okay.
So.
Did you feel like, okay, going to jail, like that was the crossroads of your life? And have you ever felt like you were on the verge?
Crossroads have I reached?
Yeah,
I've reached, man.
That's true. Do you ever feel like you're on the verge? I mean, you've overcome a lot. Are you ever afraid, like, what if I mess up and have to go back? Or do you feel like you're past that point?
I feel like I'm past that point. Okay. I feel like there's no reason for me to go to jail because, like I said, I'm going to be a good person. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do anybody wrong. I'm not trying to hurt nobody out here unless they're going to sign the contract, and I'm going to entertain thousands of fans and do it on national television. I was a dumb kid who didn't know what I was doing. You see, I didn't know that I was hurting people. Take something, it doesn't feel like you're hurting anybody. But then once you see the consequences and you see or you hear about the people in the courtroom and then you see your mom or your girl coming into the courtroom and you're in your shackles and you're like, oh, or they come to visit you, and at the 2 different jails, it was 2 different visitations. One was through the glass wall. You can't touch them, but you can see them. They're like right there, and you pick up the phone. The other was through a small TV monitor, and they're across the street, and you're like, you know, and, you know, I remember times, and my girlfriend at that time.
Different girl?
She started, we would talk on the phone a lot. She put the money on the phone or whatever, and she would come visit sometimes, but when you got a visitation, you see their name. And then I would see her name. She always set up a visitation, and then she wouldn't come. And that should, you know, devastate you.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Damn. But then the devastating part about it is that you see the name, so they're like, hey, Perry, you got your whatever, and you go out there and you you don't pick up the phone until you see him, and the camera's on, and you see the room, and you see the other people walking by talking to their people. You're like, oh man, she's not here today. You sit there and you wait 5 minutes. They don't come, you go back.
Yeah. You ever hear from anyone who you were in jail with or who was an officer at the jail and now recognizes you from your UFC? No, you don't hear from anyone. Okay, that whole life
It's behind me.
is behind you.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, does this make you appreciate what you're going? You're fighting on Fox on Saturday. You've been fighting on Fox. You fought on one of the biggest pay-per-views, if not the biggest of all time, right? 202. 4 years ago, you're in a cell. You can't get a door to close to go to the bathroom.
But I never thought about quitting at all. Like, I never thought I wouldn't be better. I always thought I'm gonna pull through this. It's kind of like how I fight. Like, no matter what you do to me, no matter what you hit me with, and no matter how much time is left, I feel like I'm about to knock you out.
No matter what.
I feel it.
And a loss, who cares? In the grand scheme of things, dust yourself off, come right back.
Me and FRM, we care.
I know you care, but you've been through worse. You've overcome worse. So you're not the kind of fighter who's gonna, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not the end of the world. You dust yourself off, you get back on the horse.
And you fight.
Let's go back.
If you guys want to give me the opportunity, hell yeah, I'll take it. Let's go fight. But see, it's not fighting anymore. I used to show up to fight.
Yeah.
Because I like to fight.
Yeah.
It's inside of me.
Yeah.
But now it's not gonna work because guys ain't coming to fight. I can't get them to get into the fight and stand toe to toe and let's hit each other in the face as hard as we can. That kind of benefits me.
Yeah.
Now they're being really smart and they're running away and they're playing these points. So now I'm practicing the points a lot more.
Okay.
I'm looking at decisions and getting booed.
No, we don't want that.
I know we don't want that, but damn it. If
do have to
it
be
might
careful.
be the right things. So
You can't
gotta be
headhunt,
patient.
right? You can't go
You
for
gotta
the
be
home
patient.
run.
It took a minute and a half for me and Ponzinibbio for me to touch him.
Yeah.
Because he was just moving. That's smart.
Sure, it is smart.
That's smart on his part.
Be patient. You have 15 minutes.
I don't blame him for running. They were chanting my name in the first 15 seconds.
Are you tight with your mom still?
No, am I tight with my mom still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the fights in Orlando, I gave out 24 tickets. I think 16 of those are family, nieces, nephews, sisters, brother, mom.
Your mom's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's in Michigan?
Tennessee.
You think you'll ever talk to him again?
Yeah, he might be down here for the fight. I was told by Dennis Severin that he was going to pick up my dad on the way down to the fight.
You want him there?
I don't care. I was 9-0 before he ever came to a pro fight.
He came to your first loss?
No, actually, no. He wasn't in Sacramento. Was he? See, now I can't even remember. I was either 7. Yeah, he wasn't at the debut. He wasn't at the UFC debut. I might have had lost. Then he came to the 11th fight.
Okay.
The Ellenberger. He was in Tennessee was the first fight.
Okay.
And he came into the hotel room and I bought him a hotel that night because he was like, do you mind if I sleep on the floor in here tonight? Me and my girl were like, no, you can't bother me. I got the fight tomorrow. You can't be in here talking to me because you're nervous.
Right.
I think that's why he never came.
Okay.
And that's why we always ended up arguing over the phone. At my second pro fight, MMA fight in Orlando, I fought my second pro fight and I fought this guy who had some YouTube chatter. And my dad was supposed to be at that fight. He said he was a truck driver, so he was all over the country. Anyways, he would come by and see me sometimes in his truck. I'd go 2 years without seeing him, but we'd talk a little on the phone, and then I'd see him. And he said that he was in the parking lot for that fight, and then he wanted to get in an argument with me over the phone. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna fuck this guy up whether you're here or not. Like, I don't care if you come in or not. So you can leave if you want to. And he left, and he never came until the 11th fight. When I knocked out Ellenberger. And I bought him a hotel that night so that he wouldn't sleep on the floor in my hotel room.
Wow.
And then he was calling me. He was on the phone when I was going to fight Ponzinibbio. I'm in Canada talking to him on the phone, and he was having issues with people and the truck driving job, and he go back and forth between the same or a couple of people that screwed him over a few times. I'm like, you keep going back to this guy. He screwed you over again. Now you're stuck in a situation. You calling me, asking me for my help. This isn't fair. It's not fair that you're doing this. Calling me, asking me for my help, and I got to fight tomorrow or the next day. Fuck are you doing? Grow up, man. Grow up, man.
So why don't you just tell him don't come to the fight?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck about nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to fight. I'm going to show up and fight. But I got to be smart about it. All right. See, I know, and I'm getting better at using that anger, that aggression, that energy that it burns inside, and focusing it in tunnel vision and seeing and doing exactly what I need to do. It's not just, see, I fight with anger and aggression and energy every fight, but I'm not one of these guys that gets overwhelmed with it. He gasses out because of it and then gets beat. I lost because my cardio was not where it could have been, and I didn't see that because I had to let that coach go in order to see it first. Thought I was still training. See, I didn't go in that fight, I'm going to beat Ponzinibbio, I'm not training. No, I tried to train. I trained. I thought I trained. I didn't train as hard as I could because I didn't have people pushing me and telling me stop when I needed to stop. So you can't be in the gym going for 3 hours at a mile pace and you think you did something when you leave. It's better to do a good 5 minutes. And then you want to go back, and then you build on that 5 minutes. That 5 minutes becomes 10, that 10 becomes 20, that 20 becomes 40. That's how you have to build on your abilities. You know, you can't just get lackadaisical and just find this little draggy rhythm of, and it's easy for me to do that when I just land that one shot and it changes the night. I land that shot, put people to sleep. Having that in my back pocket is almost a bad thing.
Yeah, crutch.
But not with a good coach pushing me. Don't get me wrong. My other coaches are amazing. I still have them. I'm still with them. It's just I needed more. And I added it. And I have it. And I won't go without him now. He's going to make me a world champion.
Gotta say, I can't wait. I'm excited. Anytime you fight, it's must-see TV. I wish we had 2 more hours to talk here.
It's all good.
But we have come to the end. This was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it.
Can you come back
man.
in studio? It's just
Absolutely.
it's different in studio. You know, like the Skype thing is fun, but there's a different flow.
It's different. I told you a lot of stories. I still have more though.
You do?
I got more stories.
Damn. Did you hold out on us? Like
No, I just can't think of them right now because it must not be the time.
There's a lot of good stories here today.
Some good stories, right?
This is, I mean, I feel like we've
and I hope you guys don't think I'm such a bad person. And
No,
stuff. I made mistakes. You know, please forgive me. You know, it's hard to be humble when you have to like show your opponent that you don't give a fuck what he can do, anything about it. I don't believe in my opponent at all. I'm gonna totally destroy him. It's just not the truth. But I have to make it sound that way.
Sure. Oh, the mental side of the game is fascinating. What you guys have to go through en route to Saturday, the role from like there was a very there's a very famous fighter. I won't say who he is because he was telling me this in confidence, but he says he always delays signing the bout agreement because something changes in his mind when it becomes real. When he has to sign it, he always delays that part because there's something that switches. And I can't imagine what it goes through from, you know, like accepting the fight to signing the fight to preparing to Saturday to the weight cut, all that stuff. I mean, what you guys go through is just unbelievable. I don't think anyone.
My girl she do a lot of paperwork for me. Our emails that I get from the UFC go to both of us so that, you know, I can have her fill out paperwork. And things like that. And one time the contract came in and she signed it and I got her before she sent it.
Okay.
And I was like, don't you ever sign for me for that. That's my life. That's my choice, my decision. You don't get in there and put your life on the line. Don't you ever sign for me for that fight contract again. That's the one thing I put my writing on.
Okay. It's something you have to do.
She knows now.
You have to do it.
Yeah. You got to make mistakes to learn.
Maybe that sums up your life. That's a good way to end it, right? You got to make mistakes.
I'm done making mistakes. It's winning from here on out, no matter how I got to do it. I mean, I can't stand there and listen to you guys boo me, though. If you boo me, I'm going to just go forward, tuck my chin, and mollywop this motherfucker.
Saturday night, live and free on Big Fox, Orlando, Florida, kicking off the main card, Platinum Mike Perry versus Max Griffin. Mike, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for making
Thank you, brother.
Here, man. Good luck to you on Saturday. Safe travels back home to Orlando. Joe will walk you out. Mike doesn't even need me to tell him who's going to walk him out. He just walks out.